Dr. Mark Reagan, Director of Music at Christ Church, and this is a video and a series of videos about music notation and how to read music. So in an earlier video, I explained the concept of key signature, and we talked about key signature as being the thing that defines what a key is. It sort of sets parameters or boundaries around the key because we have lots of different pitches available to us, but only certain pitches we actually want to pay attention to when we're reading a key. Key signature would be a cluster of sharps or flats that are found at the left-hand side toward the margin. And I'll show you an example in just a minute of what this looks like, just as a review. In this video, we're not going to talk about key signature, but a different type of signature called a time signature. And so as we're exploring this concept, which is a concept of rhythm in music, these are the things that, the questions that I'm going to answer. So in rhythmic notation, reading rhythms in music, what is a time signature? What is meant by meter? What is a measure and a bar line? Those go together. What is a measure and a bar line? And then how do we count music according to what we see in the time signature? All right, so I'll introduce this a little bit. So when we're looking at a piece of music, on the left side we have the clef, then we have the key signature, then the time signature. So the clef is going to show us what range of notes we're dealing with. Are we dealing with high voices or low voices? Women's voices or children's voices up there, men's voices or lower. So we have a variety of registers we can deal with. So clef identifies what register we're dealing with. The key signature identifies what the key is, what the parameter of pitches is. And then after that, we'll find the time signature. So a time signature appears, generally speaking, as a fraction. So we have two numbers, a top number and a bottom number. In this stack of numbers, just like a fraction that you learn in school, we're talking about a quantity of things. So if we see 3 over 4, the 4 stands for quarters, right? So we're talking about like a $quarter, right? Where you take something, you divide it into 4 pieces. Well, we're only talking about 3 of those, a group of 3 quarters, right? If we see 2 over 2, that's 2, what's the bottom 2 stand for then? Half notes, right? So 3 over 4, 3 quarters, 2 over 2, 2 half notes. Another 4 over 4, 4 what? 4 quarter notes. All right. So we're talking about, when we talk about time signatures, we're talking about a quantity of notes that are grouped together. Now, adding another concept onto this, as with poetry, music has meter. All right. So I'll answer this question a little bit. So we know a time signature is a combination of numbers that's talking about a quantity of certain types of notes. But like poetry, we also have meter. The meter of the music has to do really with the top number of the signature. So for example, if we have 2 over 4, we're talking about 2 quarter notes. All right. In terms of the meter, we're concerned with the top number. So we call this duple. All right. So 2 stands for duple. What does 3 stand for? Triple. All right. What does 4 stand for? Quadruple. All right. So when we're talking about meters, so someone might say this dance is in a triple meter. All right. They're talking about a dance like a waltz. All right. A waltz is a dance in triple meter. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc. All right. So we're talking about that top number, a grouping of notes in that way. All right. So a waltz is it would be in triple meter, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A march is not triple. March is duple, 1, 2, left, right, left, right, left, right, etc. All right. So that's what the concept of meter has to do with. It really has to do with that top number. If you are to go about writing music out, you're going to write your clef, write your key signature, you write your time signature, right? And then you start writing your music, all right, such as this. So here's some, it's very boring music, but there's some music there. Tying these things together, the time signature and the meter, we have another concept, actually two other concepts here that we'll look at. So here we're talking about two whats? What did I say? Two quarter notes that are grouped together. Well, here's two quarter notes, all right? And then I have two more and two more there. But you're actually not really seeing two quarter notes in a group, all right? So I'm going to group them this way. Two quarter notes and two quarter notes. So what I've done there, in order to sort of assert organization over the music according to this, is I've drawn what are called bar lines, all right? So every two quarter notes, I draw a bar line, right? According to this, the requirements of the time signature, all right? So we have a time signature of 2/4. The meter is duple, all right, like a march, left, right, 1, 2, 1, 2, etc. I've drawn bar lines, and by drawing bar lines, I've created measures now. So a measure would be that amount of musical material. This looks like a mustache, right? Or you know, someone had too much eggnog at Christmas. So the bar line then creates a measure. So I have a measure here, and a measure here. So a measure then is the sort of the manifestation on the page of the time signature. All right. So the time signature then demands that we're going to have measures that operate this way. It doesn't tell us how many measures. It could be 300 measures. It could be 4 measures, right? But it will tell us how the measure operates and how long the measure is. All right. So now we're going to get into how to actually go about counting these things so that what we're doing makes sense and actually makes sound as well. So I'm going to flip this board over. So in this first one, so we sing this is our Psalm 40. We sing pretty frequently. All right. Let's say a couple things about it first before we go about singing it. So here's our clef. All right, a clef, there's a treble clef. Treble clef tells us that we're dealing with treble voices or high voices, right? The melody is in the soprano. So the soprano is the high voice, all right? Soprano voice fits in the treble clef. So the next thing here is our key signature, all right? And so the key signature tells us what pitches are we actually dealing with. And to review what I talked about with this last time is this is a flat, all right? And a flat in a key signature, if we look to the last flat, and we only have one, the last flat we're going to call Fa, all right? Fa. So if we're doing our Julie Andrews scale, do, re, mi, fa, do, re, mi, fa, what note is this? That is mi here. So we start on mi, according to that understanding. All right. My rhyme for this, by the way, is to find out the do, la, or name of the key. The last flat is fa, and the last sharp, like this, is ti. To find out the do, la, or name of the key, the last flat is fa, and the last sharp is ti. So we have two sharps. This one is ti. All right. I'll just write that there. And then we sort of, that'll give us a sense of where we are in the world with these pitches. All right, so our first note we're going to call mi. All right, we're not going to do any more with keys tonight. We're just going to stop there with that. The main thing that we want to pay attention to now is the time signature. All right, so the time signature is 3/4. What we're looking for is groups of 3 quarter notes. What meter is this? Is it duple, triple, or quadruple? Triple, all right. So that means that once we've established this group, where we just recycle it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, until we're done with the song. All the way through is just like that. All right, so singing this, I'll refresh your memory on this. So it sounds like this. I waited for the Lord, he stooped and heard my cry. Like so. I cheated a little bit on this rhythm. But that's how that goes. If we're learning this, like let's say you've never seen this song in your life, well, how am I going to come to terms with it? Well, one way to do it would be then to just count these numbers. All right, should we do that? And then just continue the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like that? Try it. And go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See how I did that? Now, understand that we're talking about 3 quarter notes, right? But we don't see just quarter notes. We see, in fact, a couple of whats? Half notes as well. All right, so a half note is twice as long as a quarter note. All right, so there's a couple ways we could do this. We could sort of ignore the half note and treat it like as if it were 2 quarter notes, such as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like we just did. 1, 2, 3, but that's not technically what's written. This is not 2 notes, 1, 2, but 1, 3, yeah? All right, so let's try singing it that way. So this is going to be 1, 3, and then 1, 3, 1, 3. I think I sang that correctly. Does that make sense to you? So in this measure, skip the 2, in this measure, skip the 2, in this measure, skip the 2, right? Or just don't sing the 2 is what I mean. Try it again. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. I understand. I wrote the wrong pitches there. Okay. I won't bother fixing it right now. We're paying attention to rhythm. But Reagan made a mistake in recording this, or in recording this incorrectly. All right. So that's one way of accounting for the rhythm. We're going to move on to another example here, where we're dealing with sharps, and we're also dealing with a different time signature. All right. This is triple. This is quadruple. All right. And so in this one, we said the last sharp is T. Now, we have to go quite far afield to find what this first note is. So we're going to say, if we're going on this scale, so we have going lines and spaces, actually starting on a space. Ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So there's do. All right. Now again, that's not our main concern. Our main concern is how we're going to actually count this. All right. So in similar fashion, this is Jesus Shall Reign. So this is a hymn that's familiar to many. We're going to count it in like fashion. We'll go like this, but we have 4 in the meter this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We'll try that. Before we do, what type of note is this? That's a whole note. Okay, so here we had quarter notes, all right, 3 quarter notes, and 3 quarter notes in a group. This is a half note. So here we have half notes and quarter notes. Until here, now we have a whole note, all right? So in our understanding, a half note is 2 quarter notes, and I actually drew this down here. I don't even know, Nico, if you can see this on the camera. But in any case, I'll draw it up here just to be safe. So a whole note becomes 2 half notes, okay, which becomes 4 quarter notes, right? This is like 3rd grade math. I don't know when they learn fractions, but in any case, this is how you break it down. So, but you can work up from it as well. If we've been dealing with, we've been dealing with all these quarter notes. Now we have longer notes and longer notes still. All right. Can we count it that way though? So we're going to count all the quarter notes in the measure. Okay? So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Now, to sum up this lesson, here's what we've covered. So, a time signature is a stack of two numbers that comprise a fundamental grouping in music, or a fundamental unit of notes in music. The top number also indicates the meter of the music, such as duple meter, triple meter, quadruple meter. And then a measure in music is the visual manifestation of that grouping. All right, and you can recognize a measure because it's the space between bar lines, right? And therefore, a bar line is what separates one measure from the next. All right. And also in this lesson, we covered the idea that we can read music by assigning numbers according to the top number of the time signature. Thanks for watching.